Hello, everyone, and welcome to Divorced Heroes. I am the Divorced Hero, hanging out with my really good buddy here in the studio, the victorious one.
What's up, peoples? How you guys doing? Happy Thursday.
Happy Divorce Thursday.
Divorce Thursdays. Hashtag Divorce Thursdays.
Hashtag Divorce Thursday.
Start making that thing, all right? Make it a thing now. Hashtag Divorce Thursdays.
We're on episode 7.
Oh my God.
And before we start on when do you know to stop fighting for your children? That doesn't even make sense. You always fight for your children.
I don't know, bro.
Well, that's what we're going to talk about.
We're going to talk about that.
Before we get into it, we're going to shoot some hey what ups.
Yes.
No, shoot some hey what ups to Legal Avenue at Legal Avenue on Instagram.
Man, this lady can get you divorced in a matter of 2 months if there's no kids and properties involved. That's the most economical way you can go. And trust me, I know a couple people that already got their things signed by the judge. So
she's legit.
Legit, bro. 2 months tops. Boom.
So
done.
Big hey what up to her.
Yes.
Keep doing your thing.
And then our other hey what up is Sonia G. I am Sonia _G. Look, guys, with all this stuff that we're talking about, we're not just talking out of our asses. We've been through therapy. And I can vouch for myself and my partner here. So if you guys are looking for a good therapist at a reasonable price with a lot of knowledge, check out Sonia G at I am Sonia _G on Instagram. I mean, she's been a blessing, so check her out.
And once again, let her know Divorce Hero sent you. You won't get a discount, but it's good.
It's good networking.
It's good networking. Our next hey what up is to Mega Man.
Mega Man, our number one supporter, dog.
Hey, he's putting it down.
This guy is putting Divorce Heroes on blast everywhere.
At Long Beach Social Experiment on Instagram.
Yes, he has his own podcast, his own platform, but
he's doing it.
He's loving it, bro. He's loving the content. He's identifying with a lot of the stuff. He's referencing to episode 4, episode 2. I like what you guys did at episode 5. I can totally identify with episode 3, and he is just bouncing around. For sure, he's an active listener. So
hey, big hey, what up, Mega Man?
Yes. Oh,
so we had a question, and this was sent to us by the Beast, Palm Springs 2010.
Damn, Beast.
The Beast, remember the
Beast? He was one of my favorites.
Yeah, the
I always
big
thought
blue dude.
Him and Wolverine were like related somehow. Like,
oh, they did kind of look alike a little bit.
Yeah, they have the same hairdo.
So he asked a question on when do you know to stop fighting for your children?
Is that even a thing though? Right? You just
you never stop fighting for your children, right?
I would say no and yes. You always had your perspective on that, right?
You know, I used to look down on guys who I had heard would give up on seeing their children or just like stepped away from their children. I thought they were like the scum of the earth.
Yeah,
Deadbeats. I losers. I just
like, how could you?
Like who does that? Yeah. Right? Who the hell does that? Who stops fighting for their kids? I don't care what it is. You put a gun, you put a tiger and a jaguar in the same room, and like I'm fighting for my kids if it means me not, taking my last breath.
Yeah.
But then we start doing this mentoring.
Yep.
Then I start meeting guys on a one-on-one basis and getting their story. And then I changed my perspective. Then I was like, I get it now. I understand why some guys choose to not stop fighting, but
step back.
Yeah.
Well, I have a confession, bro. I'm one of those guys now. I don't know. You guys know my story. And for those that have just joined us today, I've been 4 years going through divorce, fighting for my kids. I was a single father for almost 4 years. The mom stepped out, decided she wanted to do what she wanted to do. And for those 3.5 years, it was me and the girls, inseparable. I sacrificed whatever I had to do to be with them. I changed my jobs to be with them. I did everything a good father's supposed to do, right? And I can vouch for that. I pat myself on the back for that. My life was my kids.
Right.
But I think that's where I fucked up. Because once you start thinking that way, bro, then what happens when your kids are not in your life? Then you have no life, right? Because you made a life out of your kids. It's like making an idol out of your kids. It's not healthy. But just recently, their mom came back in their lives. We went to court. Started off with visitations every weekend, then 50-50. And as soon as she got the 50-50, she was able to get her claws into them. Manipulation, bro. Manipulation is our worst enemy with kids.
Right. Well, kids are not very smart.
They're not smart, bro.
They're easily manipulated.
Easily influenced, and
I can tell that you're coming from a hurt spot.
This is from the chon, homie.
Yeah. I can tell you're opening up on your heart.
Yeah, I always keep it real. I've always on this platform. I've always liked to share my experiences, like as personal as I can get, just because you never know who it's gonna help. But this one, I wanted to do it, but it's mixed emotions, right? Like, damn, I want to talk about it because it happens,
right?
But opening up that wound sucks, right?
Yeah.
My kids right now don't want to be around me. They don't want to live with me. They are constantly fighting with me on our calls, on our visits. Everything we do on our visits goes back to their mom.
Well, I remember you brought up how she made you the disciplinarian one, right?
Always, yes.
So she's now solidified herself as being this parent, and you're this parent.
She's the best friend. I'm the disciplinarian. Yes.
Yeah. So that's not going to go well, especially when the children are in that stage where they're rebelling a little bit, those teenage years. Yeah, that doesn't go very well.
It doesn't. These kids want freedom. They want their freedom, and they have it over there. They don't want responsibilities. They don't want anything. And they can tell me the opposite. Come on, bro. We all grew up. We were all kids at one point.
And, hell yeah.
And if we could take easy road, we're going to take easy road.
Every time.
So manipulation is real, guys. Parent alienation is real. These are all real things. Narcissism and how they make these kids, they'll make one of the kids a scapegoat. They'll make the other kid the trauma bond kid. There's so many negative tools the negative parent can use. I'm not going to say the woman because it's not always a woman.
It's not always a woman. Yeah,
the negative parent, the least involved parent will do to
make it impossible.
To make it impossible, bro. And at the end of the day, it's all about money. It's all about, haha, I won. And in reality, what it is I can't get to you no more. I can't affect you. You're in a happy place. You got a girlfriend. You're moved on. You did what I thought you couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
How can I fuck them over? As kids. That's where they hold the power.
And who really wins when you do that? Whether it's the man or the woman that manipulates the children to turn on the other one. No one wins.
The kids are the ones that lose the worst.
Exactly, because everyone knows that in order for a child to be at its best, and not saying that kids that grow up in a single home cannot rise and be successful, but in order for the child to have all the tools necessary to go and thrive and become the best they can be, it always starts at home with both parents, the mom and the dad. If the mom and the dad can't work things out, okay, that's cool. It's bigger than you two. If you can co-parent and get along and put on a fake smile here and there so that your kids can see that the mom and the parent, the mom and the dad and the mom are on the same team, then you're going to set your children up for success. You're going to set them up to go out there and conquer the world and do everything that they have in them to do. However, if you turn it around, whether it's the mom or the dad, and you start playing these manipulation games and you tear down one parent because you think, oh, I'm hurting him. Yeah, you are going to hurt him. But ultimately, the person that you're hurting the most is are those kids, are those children that you supposedly love more than the world itself and want to see them succeed. Right. So when they're behind bars, when they have teenage pregnancies, when they fall on drugs, when they fall onto all these bad vices and they're not succeeding, you are to blame.
Yeah.
Whether it's the dad, whether it's the mom who started this bullshit.
It's the least involved parent. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah, you're to blame. And I learned this now that I got involved with Divorced Heroes and I started getting all this information trying to help people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh damn, it's not black and white like I thought I was. I thought it was. It's definitely not.
Well, especially when your kids are older, right? they're in the teens and they take their voice more serious. If they're being manipulated, bro, then they're gonna go back to the court and say what their mom wants, or that parent wants them to say.
Right.
And it's damn near impossible at that point, right? Because I know in my case, my kids have lied for their mom. My kids have made up stories. My kids have, done what they're basically they're breaking rules that they know they shouldn't, and they know that their mom's gonna back them up. So there's a lot of secrets, a lot of secrets, a lot of I'll vouch for mom. Like, oh yeah, no, she didn't go out. She was here, bro. I just drove by.
Yeah.
I'm at Taco Bell. I can see right across the street.
You love that Taco Bell, huh?
Bean and cheese burrito, no onions. So, it's, yeah. At one point, I was the same as you. All those guys are dirtbags, the worst of the worst. And once you go through it, I did feel like I'm like, fuck, I'm a dirtbag. I'm giving up on my kids.
Right.
And guess what? It's like, I'm not giving up, bro. I'm just stepping back because
you'll never give up on your kids.
No, never. No, never, never. They'll come back one day. Could be 10 years from now. Could be 5. Could be a year from now. I don't know. I'm not God. I can't predict this, right? But the more I notice, the more I've made an attempt to make a relationship with them, the more they pushed away.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. They'll just get whatever they can out of me financially. Yeah. Oh, can I get these jeans? Oh, can I get these shoes? And you're doing it, right, to just create this bond. It's almost like you're buying their love. So I had to stop myself. Like, hell.
So now you start feeling like you're just an ATM machine.
I'm just ATM. Vic's ATM. But those things start for a couple of guys. When the other parent meets another partner, right? Then you see the shit because now they want to, I said shift, not shit. Now they want to have their own family, per se, right? And when that happens, then they start doing what they have to do to cut out the other side because they don't want any conflict. They don't want the double parenting, the double stepdad, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
They want a one-sided family. So I noticed that once she was bringing them around, that they started changing. They started lying about where they were going, who they were with, and like I told them all the time, I don't care who you're with, right? I just want you to know. I want you to know this. If this person ever does anything, tries to touch you, tries to say anything, right, you can come to me.
Yeah.
And I knew they were already involved on that side because they just stayed quiet. I also would have said, no, Dad, what are you talking about? We don't even know who he is, whatever. You're making shit up or whatever.
Right.
I know my kids, bro. I know when they lie, I know when they're being honest. So that's a hard one.
And you know what? I'm gonna interject right there and say I've met including myself.
Yeah.
I've met couples couples who have been divorced and they have an understanding saying, hey, if you start dating someone before our children meet that person, I want to meet them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it makes sense, right? Like, hey, I'm gonna meet them. I'm gonna size them up. I'm gonna see what's going on, and vice versa. Because whoever is around your children, you have 100%
the
right to know who's around my kids.
Yep.
This isn't a secret.
The other parent's so in La La Land, they're in love again, right?
Very much.
They don't
could
see
be.
If they don't even see their own red flags, they're not gonna see red flags.
That might be the case, right? That might be the case. But I need to know who's around my children.
Yeah.
If they decide to be around whoever when they're on their time, none of my business.
Right. And that was a hard lesson for me, dog. Like, having them for all that time by myself, to just learn to let go. Like, what you do with the other parent, that's on you guys. I have no business knowing. The first couple of months, well, what'd you guys do? Where'd you guys go? And it was a little, like, interrogation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I learned real quick, like, you know what? This ain't healthy for me or you. You guys are old enough to know what's up. Your mom, she's old enough to know what's up. That's it. No more asking questions. And they caught on to it because when I stopped asking questions, they were just like, oh, well, we went over here. So, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And they're trying to give me information. I didn't want to hear it no more because it's like, that's none of my business. What you do over there, you do over there. But I have always told them, so if anything happens, you come to me. But now they're just at the point where they'll lie for the other person.
Yeah, well, that goes back to the manipulation, right? And making one parent as the villain.
Yeah.
Like, you see how this happens, you see how this person does this, you see how they're doing this, and when with me it's not like that. With me, we get to do this, right? So if you make one parent the villain, children, like I say all the time, they're not very smart. Their children are not very smart, and it's not against a child.
No,
it's against the life experience that a child has. You cannot compare 7, 10, 13, 14 years of life experience to a grown-ass adult.
You can't.
Who's been there and seen it all.
You cannot.
Right?
You can't. It's just, I mean, just think of all the mistakes we made growing up, bro.
Exactly.
And,
I still make mistakes.
I'm in my 40s. I'm barely walking out of that fucking.
Yeah, I still make mistakes, right?
So,
but I have a story of a guy.
Shoot it.
Who he stopped fighting for his child, and it's not that you stop loving your child. No. Is you come to a point where you realize, hey, this isn't healthy anymore.
Exactly.
So he found out that his child hit his baby mama and him. I hate to use the word baby mama. His ex. His child's mother, right?
The ex-mother of his child.
Whatever. I guess baby mama is the best fitting term here. His baby mama and him had been, done with for a very long time. Yeah. Very, very long time. The child was now about 7 or 8 years old. And he calls his kid, and everything is normal. He goes and he picks up the child like every other weekend and so many days during the week. But the woman, the ex, ends up moving away to another county.
Okay.
So he's from Los Angeles. She ends up moving to like Riverside or something like that, right?
I'll go to the IE.
So I don't know, something like that. So it becomes hard for him to see the child because he's remarried. He has a newborn,
right? And
he has his job, so he's trying to figure it out with her. Like, hey, let me know when everything gets situated so that we can get back to visitations here. And before you know it, it's been a month.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls his kid and says, hey, it's time for me to see you. Like, what's going on? I got to go get you. Like, this isn't cool. And he goes and he picks up the kid and he's asked the kid, what time do you start school? And because I'm going to take you back and I want to make sure you're there. And the kid says, I haven't been to school in a month. So he says, what? You haven't been to school in a month? He said, no, I don't think so. So he calls the mom, the ex. Hey, what's going on with Johnny? Johnny hasn't been to school? Well, it's been hectic over here and you don't know my life.
Oh my God, dog. Are you serious?
So he immediately goes to Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
They get involved. They find out that he has other siblings that came after him.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them have been to school. So I don't know what's going on with the mother. I don't know her situation. But they remove the child and they give him to the dad.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, here you go. He enrolls him in school. And they tell the mother, like, hey, you got to go to some parenting classes because it's not okay for you to just keep your child.
Right.
It was more than a month. It ended up being like 2 months, I think. So it just got really, really muddy and crazy. So he has this kid full time. This whole time he's telling her, if you want to see your son, you need to come over here and see him.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't go. I have other kids. I can't get a ride. And he's like, okay, well, I'll try to facilitate the best that I can. But I also have my life going on right now. You are still the mother of this kid.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, let me know. Whoa. In a couple of months, they have court. They go back to court. And somehow marijuana gets brought up. I guess the mother was a user. And they asked her to go to some classes, and then some parenting classes, and the father continues to have full custody of his child. Mind you, he is remarried, has a newborn at home. The child is going to school, and the grandmother is helping because The mom is just had a baby.
Just had a baby, yeah.
So his grandmother is kind of helping facilitate going to school. Anyway, they go back to court. She still hasn't done her classes. Nonetheless, the judge grants her visitation.
Wow.
Where the child can now go over there and spend the night. The child does. As soon as the child does, the next court date comes around. The child then tells the court that his father beat him.
Wow.
Okay. And I forgot to mention, this whole time, Child Protective Services is coming to his home. I think he said it was like a total of like 12 or 15 times, something crazy.
Disgusting.
Where they kept coming and he would say, "Who's calling Child Protective Services on me?" And he says, "It's anonymous." So they would come in, they would look at his child because according to whoever called, the child was being beaten.
Yeah.
They would open the fridge. They would take inventory. They would all the stuff. His wife is losing it. Like,
oh yeah, well that's the plan, bro. That's the plan from the ex. Let's make his life miserable because I can't be happy. Neither can you.
So not only are they doing this to his home, but because the grandmother is helping out and picking him up, they go do it in the grandmother's house. The grandmother is elderly. The stress gives her a stroke.
Oh God.
The stress of all this gives her a stroke. So now they go back to court, like I said, and the child stands there and says that my dad hits me, which never happened.
That's where a polygraph test should come to play.
Was he a strict father? He says, I am a strict father, just like my father was, but I never touched him.
Yeah.
And he sat there and he said, my daddy hits me. But he's a child. He was manipulated.
Yeah. Right
then and then, because of the stroke that his grandmother had, all the stress that was going on in his home, because now he's having marital problems.
Wow.
He said, look, he looked at her, he said, what do you want? You want full custody? Here you go. You have full custody. I'll sign it right now. You have full custody. Yeah, I'll pay the child support. You have full custody. They ended up working out a schedule when he could see his child, and he saw him whenever she seemed fit or whenever, new school clothes was coming around. And
yeah.
Right. So now the child is about 16 years old, and she cannot control the child because the father has been absent this whole time.
That's my fear. That's my fear.
The child is 16 years old.
Yeah.
He's damn near a man. He's tall. He's over 6 foot tall. He's, running wild.
Yeah.
Has a girlfriend, just doing whatever he wants to do. The mother's getting these notices that he's truant, not going to school. And she reaches out to him saying, you're the dad. Help me. And he says, I am the dad. But I've been the dad the whole time. I should have been involved the whole time.
Yeah.
You did this.
Yep.
Now you want me to come and save the day?
Yep.
How could I?
I was just talking to my girlfriend about this today. I feel like I'm going to be the one to clean up the mess at the end. Because sooner, these kids are already running amok, bro. And I'm sorry to say this about my own kids. They're doing their own thing. So guys, just real quick. You're going to notice their grades decline. Yeah. You're going to notice them dress different. You're going to notice them wear more makeup. If they're girls, more makeup, less makeup. If they're boys, they'll start doing more pro club, more all that stuff. You guys know the deal. In situations like this, yes, they do need both parents. Even if but if the mother's a manipulator like that, right? She should have to A, go to therapy, B, go to some kind of psychiatric evaluation, and C, parenting classes. Right. I mean, for sure, therapy, parenting classes, for sure, bro. I'm gonna be real vague, but the same thing happened with me. I have full and sole custody. The minute the court, implemented that, child support kicks in, right? So they hit her up to pay me child support,
right?
And then she's like, so we had a court for that, and she came like, I can't afford it. I only make X amount, so we basically cut it in half for what it should have been. I said, I don't need her money, but the guys at my lawyer's like, dude, they're gonna take money anyways. I said, well, fucking do the bare minimum. I don't care. I don't need her money.
Yeah.
So she ended up having to pay half of what she initially had to. I think it was like $800 or $900. this chick all of a sudden found the urge to fight for her kids after that. After child support. Not before that, not when she took out for 3.5 years. Not when she wanted to go do the, all the enhancements and all that shit and the partying. It was after child support hit her up. So, same thing. Full sole custody, Mr. So-and-so. Boom. All right, cool. Thank you. Then she took us back to court and they gave her every weekend.
Every weekend.
9 hours every Saturday, 9 hours every Sunday.
So it wasn't even overnight.
It was no. It was Saturday and Sunday for 9 hours each day. And
but you had to know that she was only gonna get more time.
Oh yeah, I knew it's a step up thing, right? It's
right. Okay.
Up. But since the first visit, bro, these kids came back different. She already dug her claws in, started flipping the script. Oh, your dad didn't let me see you. He was alienating me. Blah blah blah. You know the works.
Right.
I did whatever I could with my kids. I just let her play. I told them, hey, just go enjoy it. Get to know your mom again. Hopefully you guys get more visitation with her. Because my intent was never to keep her from the mom, but just like, dude, if you're not right in the head,
right,
you can't take care of a kid. Especially since I had my kids already in counseling and they were healing and they were doing really good, bro.
Yeah,
they reverted to old ways now. They're not in the best place. But I'm saying that to say this. She ended up getting 50%, right? So it's like, all right, it is what it is, 50-50. That wasn't good enough for her because she wasn't going to get no money out of that.
Right.
So she went to the courts and made up these huge stories about this and this and that. She had my daughter spying on us in my own home, recording things, cutting and editing. So she would only post this, show her this part, but not the other part. It's a messed up feeling, bro, that you have to walk on eggshells in your own home.
Yeah.
It's a messed up
feeling, especially when you're trying to parent.
Yeah. So like the other caller, right? The Beast Palm Springs 2010. I am a strict father, dog. You have to be a strict father.
Right.
Especially the way that the world is nowadays.
Yeah.
You have to raise these kids with morals and values and like, look, dude, you gotta do what's right even when no one's watching.
Yeah, that's the definition of discipline.
Right. And take responsibility when you're wrong, dude. If you messed up, you messed up. No, it's not my fault. No, I'm not taking that because it is your fault.
Right.
So, long story short, the girls didn't want to. The girls went to court. They said certain things. Their mom made up a huge thing, and they're like, "All right, Mr. So and So, you only get 5% custody now." So I went from full custody to 5%. The court system's a joke, bro. They don't care about the kids. They don't. It's about money. It's about keeping everyone employed in the system. Because guess what, dog? If nobody's collecting child support, no one's doing this and that, there's gonna be a lot of people out of work.
Yeah.
So, guys, I think the most important thing that we've heard right now and throughout this is once it starts affecting your mental health and your physical health, I think it's okay to just step back.
Yeah, and stepping back, so I think there's this feeling that when do you stop fighting for your kids? It means you stop loving them. You don't stop loving them. You always love them.
Always.
But to step back and say, you know what? Okay, this is the way. Mm-hmm. Because once you start losing yourself and it's affecting you, your well-being, your mental state, I mean, where you go from there?
You're basically going through another divorce, bro. That's what's happening.
Right.
Like think about when you were separating or anyone separates, right? It's just like all these, you feel worthless, you feel like this, you feel like that. And so now you're not divorcing your ex-wife, you're divorcing your kids because they're treating you the same way that your ex is treating you.
Right.
The more you try to love on them, the more they push you away, the more they make up lies, they make it excuses. So the best thing to do is just step back. Step back, give them time to breathe, give yourself time to breathe, figure out what your next move is going to be. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell your kids, especially your kids, bro. I'm sorry. Everything I've ever told my kids has got back to my ex. If it's low-key or just general information, it goes back to them. Every time they come from a visit, they get interrogated, and then what I get is a talking parent message, just exploding things. You did this, you did that. I can't believe you. And the most recent thing, like I said, my kids aren't doing too good in school. I communicated with the mother, hey, I got a call from the counselor.
Right.
On spring break, on his own personal time, on his own personal phone, how he's concerned. This chick said, well, you're the dad, figure it out.
Yeah, because now you're the disciplinarian parent. She visualized you. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I only have him 5%. There's not much I can do with 5% time.
Yeah.
They're majority with you. So I'm asking you, what are we going to do? So the response was like, you act like you have no say-so in this. Figure it out. You're the dad. It's just no responsibility, right? No responsibility. It sucks, guys. But I would say, yeah, you don't stop fighting for them. You just step back. You step back. You reevaluate yourself. You just put yourself in a better position and be healthy, bro. Be healthy and be sane and be mentally right for when they do come back. Because they will come back.
Yeah.
A narcissistic parent, a negative parent, a parent like that can't always keep up that facade for long. It's gonna, I mean, they can do it for a while, but it's not gonna be for long. And once these kids see the true colors,
yeah, they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out. So you need to be in the best position possible when they're ready to come back. Because other than that, all you're doing is repeating cycles and past, all these traumas that you've been through, that your parents have been through, that your grandparents have been through. So, I mean, I don't know. For Beast, I think you did the right thing, bro. I really do, and it hurts as a father to say, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
Take him. But it's like you got to take it, especially if he had his own life already.
Yeah.
But see that's where the woman, the ex, is hating, because he moved on. Found a new partner, got his life together, has a new kid. Oh, you see, your dad doesn't love you. Look, he had another baby. That's horrible. That's so disgusting.
And I'm sure there's children out there right now being told that.
Yeah. I mean,
by both, by the mom and the dad.
Yeah, so it's not a pretty sight, bro. Like I said, divorce is never easy, especially with kids. But when these other parents use these kids as pawns, it's just disgusting, bro.
It's
disgusting. The worst thing. I mean, it's one step down from being, an apist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't say those words because we get shut down, but you know what we mean.
No, I agree with you, and yeah, whenever you feel that you're losing yourself and your mental state and your well-being, maybe that is a time for you to step back and just say, okay, well, this is the way it's going to be, because you can't rely on the court.
No,
you cannot rely on the court to do the right thing unless you're very wealthy and you can hire private investigators and all that all that glamorous stuff. If you're very wealthy, then by all means, go for it. But the average Joe...
I had an attorney, right? This is after I already spent money 4 years into it. I was thinking about getting a second one, another one, a new one, a fresher one. He's like, man, you're looking at $30,000 easy right now.
Yeah.
Just to start off.
And
that's for me to do an investigation on funds, investigation on this, or get a private investigator to see what she's doing. Bro, the average Joe is not going to pay that much.
No,
it's not worth it.
No, yeah. He can't afford it.
It's not worth it. Even if, I mean, it's money down the drain, bro.
Yeah.
It's money down the drain. So, I mean, I think from what you guys can take out of this, bro, is if it's affecting your health, let it go. But be ready for when they come back. Like, really, really, really get yourself ready. It's like that, it's like that analogy, right? The bow and arrow.
Right.
Yeah, you're moving back. But that whole time, it's like stored energy. And when you're ready to go, you're just going to fly through. You got to be ready for that. So,
damn, this one turned out to be very,
very
sad.
Well, it's sad, bro, but it's reality, Let's be honest. This whole trip is not fun.
No, 100%. You're absolutely right.
And I know there's at least 5 guys going through this right now as we speak. I guarantee you.
100%.
I guarantee you. For me, it sucks, bro. I have 2 daughters. It sucks. It sucks, bro, because those were my princesses. They still are, right? But when they talk to you in a certain way, when they want to put you down. They want to talk to you like you're nobody.
Right.
No. So.
Well, with that being said, guys, if you think this is useful to anyone, please share it. Please hit the like. Give us your feedback. Send us a message if you have any questions. DM us on Instagram at DivorcedHeroes, or at send us an email at DivorcedHeroes@gmail.com.
Damn, we're moving up.
I want everyone to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
And we're bringing light to these issues because we want to help people. We want to let them know that you're not alone.
You're not alone, exactly.
There's other people that have gone through it. There's other people that are going through it. And there's other people that will go through it.
That hit home, bro, when you were told that advice. Remember, you brought it up before. And they told you, mijo, you're not...
Yeah, my dad. Yeah. My dad, yeah. My dad told me he's the wisest person I know. And he is far from perfect. He has his flaws, but he's very wise. And he told me, he said, son, I want you to know that this world is full of people that have gone through a divorce just like you, and they're okay. And you will too be okay.
Yeah.
And that's really sound advice. So with that being said, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Alrighty.